Well, hello there. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics go to die. Uh, nobody even watches that guy anymore, right? He's pretty much gone, done away with. Linkara. Anybody watch that? Any of you comic book people out there still watch Linkara? I have not watched an entire Linkara video. I mean, since 2011, 2012. It's been a while. It's been a while, but those catchphrases, they get stuck in your head. Good evening, Arlene. Welcome. I'm sure you've never seen a Linkara video in your life, and neither should you ever see one. This is an Old Fashioned Chat-a-Thon, which means I don't have a topic, so it's a random title. I just thought I would do a video. A little live stream like we did the other day. Try to get this channel back going after a couple of weeks off without doing much on it, focusing upon the chaos. Obviously, we have now gotten to a point where that is cruising along. It's building, it's getting better and better every day. And now we can reaffirm our focus here with this wonderful audience that wants to talk about random stuff. Speaking of random stuff, here are a couple of things that I plan on doing some videos about in the future. Sitting on my desk. Stephen King's The Stand miniseries. Feel like this is pretty relevant. It's about a pandemic. Wipes out the population. That seems relevant. I probably should have done it last year, but I didn't have the time. And then here's one that Lady Vixen and I are currently watching through. There you go. Early edition. Such a great show. That for half a second, that was $40. It was like $40 on Amazon. And we bought it. And then immediately after we purchased it, it went back up to like $90 a pop or something. So glad we managed to get in while the getting was good. As that seems to be a little scarce. Did you guys watch Early Edition? I loved that show when it was on the television. It was quite entertaining. Quite entertaining. The Stand's a pretty good miniseries. I've read the book as well. It's okay. I'm not the biggest Stephen King guy, but I thought that would be interesting to make a video about. Got some ideas bouncing around the old noodle. If you didn't watch the videos I posted on FlyFoxPro today, there was a good old-fashioned troll of you nerds with you've never seen Early Edition, Arlene? Oh, man. You missed out. You missed out. With the reaction to Marvel Eternals. I did that this morning. Technically, I made it last night, and I scheduled it to be released this morning. And that was well received. And then, of course, we did a video about John Cena. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. No, I'm not a nerd, Jeff Potts. Don't tell anyone it's a secret. You'd only have to look over at this shelf to determine whether I'm a nerd or not. Or any other shelf in this house. It's like Buffy, Angel, Firefly, Ray Bradbury Theater, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Smallville, Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek The Next Generation, the Star Trek films, Ghostbusters 1 and 2, Serenity, Batman, Galaxy Quest, Warcraft, Star Wars, and a bunch of Disney stuff. I'm glad you liked it, Arlene. I have no interest in Eternals. I'll see it on Redbox, or if I am still able to watch Disney Plus at that point without having to pay for it. I'm not pirating it, by the way, just so there's no question about that. I'm not pirating it or anything. However, I'm not paying for it. If I still have it at that point, I'll watch it on there. But I'm not going out of my way to see it. I'm not going out of my way to see it. Redbox or streaming on something that I already have. I'll watch it. and I don't like to do reaction videos. You probably will never just see me reacting to, oh, it's this, I gotta watch this trailer. It's not really my thing. There have been times when I've done it. Don't get me wrong. But for the most part, I want to have something interesting to say about whatever topic I'm talking about. Even if it's having no topic, like this live stream. I want to make sure that when I say something, I actually have something not even, it doesn't have to necessarily be valuable, but at least interesting. So what do I have interesting to say about Marvel Eternals? I don't care about Marvel. I'm done with the movies. I've said that so many times that I'm just over them. I'm not interested in them anymore. And I had no interest. I didn't even finish it. Just about literally, I think I cut a few seconds off there at the end. What you saw in that reaction is the entirety of me watching that trailer. I didn't watch the whole thing. Don't know what happens in it. Don't care. I'll be surprised someday if I watch it. Welcome, Rick Piper of Cross Comics. If you guys don't follow Rick, or you're not subscribed to Rick, I imagine most of you are. Rick's a good person to follow. He does a lot of good content over there from time to time. Not as much as he used to, but still good. So go over to his channel and subscribe. He also produces comics that I did a review of at one point. Yeah, it's true. I did. You have to go back and watch that review to find out what I said. I wonder if Rick, did you watch my review of your comic? I'm sure you did. Yeah, man. Times are crazy, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't even care. When it comes right down to it, I don't care about Marvel Eternals. I'm sorry. I don't care enough to watch it. I don't care about Shang-Chi. I tried to watch the Shang-Chi trailer when it came out, and I was so bored. It just looked like some generic Jet Li movie from 12, 15 years ago with a little bit, more stylized. Not even that. Just slightly more competent filmmaking, I guess one would say. It didn't look all that great. I have no interest in that. If other people like those things, as I have routinely said in many mediums, I'm fine with you liking things I don't. I have and will always like Batman versus Superman. Even before the Ultimate Edition, Snyder Cut, whatever, came out, I liked it. I thought it was interesting. And I've not changed my opinion on that. So, you're funny, Eric. I actually like boring things, but to me, generic action, it's like I've seen this a million times. I could go watch Crank. I could go watch... I'd rather watch something interesting. Like, at least give me Jackie Chan doing some cool stunts. It's not to say it won't be good, right? It could be. It just... I don't know who Shang-Chi is. I've never read a comic with Shang-Chi in it. I don't have any interest in it. I don't just go see movies because they're comic book movies or they're Marvel movies or whatnot. There's got to be something to sell me. There's got to be something to bring me in. Here's the thing. Eric's right. I am intimately aware and informed about what boring is because I have read both Zombieful World of Oz 1 and 2. So, I don't know. Oh, man. Is it that boring? I guess I didn't watch it because I don't care. I don't care. Oh, anyways. The Eternals trailer 5 times. That's ridiculous. Yeah, man. I honestly, what even is the point of Marvel at this point? Or Star Wars for that matter, or Star Trek? Just stop. Stop. The modern culture is incapable of making things in these worlds. Marvel had a good run. They managed to prevent the wokeness from disrupting their ability to tell stories for a fairly long time. I think we've finally gotten to that point where it's like, okay. Because Endgame was not good. Some people like Endgame. I didn't. I thought it was, at the best, it was okay. It was a very, very dissatisfying ending to that saga. You're stronger than the rest of us, Rick. You're stronger than the rest of us. The ability to write good and compelling stories has been disrupted by the shift in philosophy that has happened in the world since about the 60s, but it took root and really came to fruition in the generations in the 90s until now. 90s were kind of this mixture of postmodernism and modernism, where it was like, okay, we can still tell competent stories, but we're going to dissect everything and we're going to deconstruct everything. And it worked for a season. And then it was like, okay, well, how do we deconstruct the deconstructions? And what did we do about the this and that? And obviously, it was over at that point, in my opinion. But if you like those things, that's okay. That's all right. You can like them if you want. Watch the movies the way you want to watch them, read the comics the way you want to read them, play the games the way you want to play them. That has been my philosophy for a really long time. And it will continue to be my philosophy. Oh, man. What else can we talk about? We've got videos coming tomorrow. Oh, I also did a video about Lil Nas X. That was yesterday, though, wasn't it? The channel coming back with a vengeance. New viewers and old viewers clash in this battle of the Titans. Who will win out? Like I said, I don't know, was it yesterday I did a stream? It's not just going to be news. It's not just going to be, oh, I'm commenting on sort of pop culture, but also politics. It's not just going to be that. It will be, there will be some of that, because that has been a part of this channel since the beginning. I can go back to the first videos I did, and it started out me talking about news stuff. And then I have talked about stuff that I enjoy and I like, and of course that has led to lots of different topics being discussed. Some of the earliest videos I did, news. Boom, there we go. And video games and things, but the video games have obviously moved too. Quite a geek. You going to reveal what you're playing? Oh, we talked about that on yesterday's live stream. Okay, so guys, if you don't know, Gary Shipman and I are going to be doing a live watch-along / commentary of Buckaroo Banzai, which I have seen before, and Gary has never seen it before. So he's going in blind. He's not going to watch it before we watch it together. We're going to be streaming on this channel, Gary and I. You guys can go on Amazon Prime if you've got it. At least in the United States, it's on Amazon Prime right now. So you guys can go and watch. We'll start the stream. We'll talk for a little bit. Then we'll say, okay, we're starting the movie now. And then you guys can start watching it along with us. That should be a lot of fun. If you guys haven't seen Buckaroo Banzai, it's a pretty fun movie. Jeff Goldblum, Peter Weller, Mr. Krabs, or the Kurgan, or Lex Luthor, or whatever, pick your poison of Clancy Brown characters. He's in it, Clancy Brown. Lots of characters and character actors that you will recognize, or stars. Fantastic film. Gonna be lots of fun. So be on the lookout for that. I'll tell you guys when it's gonna be in advance, so that you guys, if you want to participate in the watch along, you can. Oh, thank God, General Grudge is here. We're all safe now. We can start the show. Eric Hawkins says he liked the media still blames Trump video. I'm glad you liked at least one video I've put out recently. How has he never seen the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension? Because he's Gary Shipman. That's why. You never know with him. Hey, did you ever read this comic, Gary? No, I didn't read that comic. Oh, did you ever read that stuff? Which is fun because I've seen it. Gary's never seen it. So it'll be a fun mixture for the commentary. Which maybe it's not the best that Gary's gonna have to talk while he's watching this movie, but I'm gonna force it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, should be fun. It is also a bad movie. Yeah, but it's fun, man. Fun. Oh, it's so much fun. Oh. Yeah. So that watch long, we'll tell you when that's going to be, at what time that is. Well, Rick, now is your opportunity to take advantage of this once in a lifetime opportunity of watching along with Gary Shipman as you both watch this film for the first time. And then if this proves to be popular and you guys enjoy it, we may do them more in the future. No, that's the only thing you like about it? Come on, man. Come on, man. You know, the thing. I like more than just the Trump video, but that one really cracked me up. Well, I'm glad, man. I'm glad. I try to bring a little bit of humor or something fresh, something new. Otherwise, I'm just telling you guys the news. You can get your news anywhere. Why would you get it from me? Some schmo on the internet. No, we're going to be watching. It's going to be we're not going to be streaming the film. You have to do that yourselves. We're going to be live streaming it on the channel. You guys will see, we'll have our pictures up there like normal, but we'll be watching it. So Gary will be watching it on his end. I'll be watching it on my end, and we can all watch it together. Do we know if Gary has seen My Cousin Vinny? I doubt it. I highly doubt it because it came out in the 90s and it's R-rated. That's up. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. Maybe if Gary shows up, he can tell us. Oh, man. I don't know if you saw P Money's comment on there, but he was like, oh, I'm so excited to see FlyFoxPro's reaction to Marvel Eternals. It's like, oh, let me put it on the television. So they put it on their TV and he's sitting there and watching it. And then boom. Oh, man, classic. I'm not going to do that. Look, that's kind of a once in a while trick. It's probably not going to happen like that ever again. It popped into my head. It took me 10 seconds to make, more like 2 minutes, but still not very long. So I did it. I'm sorry. But I thought it was funny. But the videos today are certainly doing pretty good. Yesterday we had that stupid Nas X garbage get a bunch of views, and then Marvel Eternals, you guys have liked that as well. Oh, we got some thumbs down. We got a thumbs down on the Marvel Eternals video. That must have been Eric's. Yeah, we're getting views. We're getting watch hours. We're getting new subs today. We've got a bunch of new subs. By a bunch, I mean on this channel, it's pretty decent, like 10 or something. Let's say. The more successful the channel, the more we can do with it. So let's see. We started out the day with 505 or 513 right now. Uh-oh, P-Money's here. Did you read those copies of the rejected Powerpuff Girls script? No. I saw something about it as I perused Bleeding Fool and Bounding into Comics or something, trolling for an article to make a video about, which I rarely find anything of interest. But I did find something of interest that will be debuting tomorrow morning. So be on the lookout for that. I already made that video. I would have put it up today, but at that point at 7 my time, later back east, I thought it might be a little late to put it out. So video will be going out tomorrow morning, and hopefully it will be good. Are they how terrible is it, General Grudge? I didn't. You know what's funny, P Money, is I didn't even watch the whole trailer. So you honestly cannot even. I couldn't even redeem your time by telling you my reaction, because when I stop it in the video, it may have played 1 second more before I stopped it and made the video. It is the worst thing ever. You should read it. Maybe I'll read it and do the voices of the characters. We are talking about My Cousin Vinny. It's right up there. It's on the shelf. My Cousin Vinny. It's a funny movie. Identical. Oh, I was like, what in the world's on my hand? It's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid. Cut myself. Ugh. So why's my hand so dirty? That's embarrassing. No, it's just a Band-Aid. My hands aren't dirty. No Doug TenNapel dirty hands here. Picture this. Identical. No self-respecting Southerner ever eat instant grits. Is that true, General Grudge? Would a self-respecting Southerner ever eat instant grits? It is so bad. It is newsworthy, full of cringe, left-wing cultural Marxism. Well, I mean, that's par for the course. But I was actually the right age to watch Powerpuff Girls when it was on, but I didn't have access to cable. And when I would go over to friends' houses, we were playing video games and not watching Powerpuff Girls. I know some boys my age watched the show. I never seen it. I've seen maybe one entire episode and bits and pieces over the years. Wow, General Grudge, instant grit. So you're not a self-respecting Southerner then? It's okay. I like instant grits, but then again, I'm not a Southerner. I'm one of them wild west cowboy type. No, I'm not a cowboy, but no instant grits. They only take 6 minutes to cook. No instant grits. All right, well, we've got it. We've the battle of the Southerners here. General Grudge, you're too old to have watched Powerpuff Girls, right? Come on, man. Come on, Corn Pop. I hate that if I say come on, man, it sounds like I'm pretending to be Joe Biden. So I have to lean into it and be like, oh, I was totally making a joke about Chairman Joe. The majority of my ancestors died fighting for the Confederacy. Well, sell down, General. I'm 50-50 split here. Some were for the North and some were for the South. Mostly from the North, though, as a lot of my ancestors were German types that moved to the Midwest. Yeah, that makes sense, General Grudge. I know a lot of people liked it. I just honestly I've never seen it. So for me, it's like I'd be going in to just make fun of the SJW stuff, which I prefer to talk about things that I like on this channel as much as possible. Obviously, I talk about stuff that I don't like. For the most part, I like to talk about stuff that I like. Arlene says my oldest granddaughter and youngest granddaughter like the Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, they have it's kind of funny. You have people that grew up with the original and now their kids are young enough to watch this remake. I don't know if the remake's any good that was on television or on Hulu or something, but be interesting. When I was a kid, we just actually watched the reruns of the cartoons that my parents watched. So Flintstones, Jetsons, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Yogi Bear, Scooby-Doo. And then, of course, the Saturday morning cartoons of my youth that my children will watch. Tailspin, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Batman the Animated Series, Street Sharks, Goof Troop. That's the stuff that formed my youth. I've seen more Dexter's Lab than I have Powerpuff Girls. And I've also seen more Samurai Jack because I sought it out. Because everyone was like, oh, this is fantastic. So I watched some of that. But I think the things that I've seen the most of in terms of those early Cartoon Network things were probably Dexter's Lab. Like, then the stuff before that was on Cartoon Network, like the that squirrel that was a spy. I don't remember the name of the show. And then the old Hanna-Barbera stuff. Really, it's yeah. I from what I watched, it was okay. It just I kind of got a little bored with it. I probably should revisit it at some point if I get the opportunity. Yeah, Road Run, obviously Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, watched those a lot. But not having cable, it was just whatever was on. So whatever was in syndication or was on Fox Kids, CBS, NBC, or ABC. And then UPN was like a mixed bag. And then Warner Brothers, the WB channel, wasn't even on in Tucson where I lived till the, I don't know, late 90s, not 2000, late 90s. So, oh, the baby just forgot laying down in the bath. Ah, well, that's good. Is he enjoying relaxing in the bath? Man, there are. So we were talking about nerds earlier, and I accused you all of being nerds. It's a him. It's a him, okay? But of course, I am a nerd, as is evidenced by all of this stuff over here. So most of these children's films that were over here, we had before we had any children. It's like, oh man, I loved this movie when I was a kid. I'm totally getting it. That's such an our generation thing. Like my dad never was like, oh, I'm gonna go get Rocky and Bullwinkle on VHS. He didn't care. I mean, he'd watch it if we were watching it in the morning before he went to work or something. Like, oh, Rocky and Bullwinkle, I love that show. Or if he woke up and he was finished with his morning run, drinking his hot water, he drank hot water, just hot water because he doesn't like coffee, and he would watch it with us. But Gary, have you ever seen My Cousin Vinny, Gary? Yeah, there was no, Eric Hawkins says, heck, when I was a kid, there wasn't no such thing as cable TV. That's not true. Cable TV was created in the 50s. It just wasn't prevalent. And it wasn't like it was as it became in the late 70s, early 80s, when it suddenly became more mainstream throughout the 80s. So yes, generally you're accurate in the terms of what it became. It certainly wasn't cable, but the idea of cable television existed as far back as the 50s. We only had ABC and PBS for many years when we were a kid. Oh, that's brutal, man. At least when I was a kid, we had Fox by that point. So there was a bunch of zany Fox cartoons to watch. But when I was a kid, we didn't have cable. We had CBS, ABC, NBC, PBS, of course, Fox, UPN, and TBN. Those were the channels that we had when I was a kid. And then later we got WB. Those were all the channels. I know here in Phoenix, where my wife is from, they had a bunch of they had independent channels, and they had all these other channels that we didn't have there. So she had access to way more channels than I did, even though she didn't have cable. Not fair. Not fair. All right, so Gary has seen My Cousin Vinny. I have not seen Penguin Bloom, Gary. You asked us yesterday. Let's look it up. Penguin Bloom. You're supposed to watch it today? I was working. Making all kinds of videos. It appears to be from Netflix. Should I watch it, Gary? I think you already told me to watch it. Still live in the remotest of sticks. Yeah, I figured. I mean, living in the second biggest city in Arizona was probably better than living in like Thatcher or something. But we didn't have all those fancy independent channels. I haven't watched 16 Blocks either, Gary. But I will. Cable was for the elite, lol. There was only one person in the neighborhood that did have one of them giant satellites. Yeah, I remember those things. Those huge satellite dishes. Man, I was like, oh man, I wonder what they can watch. And then I had cable the only time I've ever had cable in my life that I've had cable was when I was in the military. It was somehow still hooked up to my barracks room, and I wasn't paying for it. So I don't know who's paying for it, or if it just happened to be hooked up and the cable company never unhooked it, but I had it and I wasn't paying for it. Somebody gave me a TV, and I was like, oh, I'll see if it's got cable. What's the odds? Yeah, it probably doesn't have cable. I plugged it in, and sure enough, I could watch it. But I ended up only ever watching like the Food Network and The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. And I was like, cable sucks. Local KPLR and KDNL and PBS. Watched a lot of PBS. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Wishbone. Got Wishbone up there. If you guys remember that are my age, remember Wishbone. What's the story, Wishbone? What's this you're dreaming now? Such a big imagination on such a little puppy. WGN. Yeah, we didn't have WGN. When we did get cable, early mid-80s, I spent most of the time watching Bozo in the mornings on WGN. When I was a kid, in the mornings, at least on Saturday morning, at 6 o'clock, was when the cartoon started. And what started most of the time was Rocky and Bullwinkle show, if you will. And I watched that. And then at 7, then that was syndicated. Reruns, obviously. And then the shows started coming on the other channels. So we'd switch over here. We'd watch this on Fox, and then we'd watch this over on NBC. This over on ABC. We had our little navigation that we did, going from channel to channel to watch all the things we wanted to watch. You were accused of stealing cable, Lady Vixen. Why did you steal cable? Nowadays, I mean, what's crazy is like we go on Netflix, right? How many times have you gone on there like, oh, I don't know what to watch. Man, when I was a kid, if I could go on there and watch Star Trek The Next Generation anytime I wanted, I wouldn't watch Stargate SG-1 because it was boring, but watch Stargate SG-1, whatever I want, at my fingertips, and I still can't pick anything. Terrible. But when I had limited choices, I was forced to watch that, or I'd have to go outside and play with a stick or something. General Grudge says, we finally got one of those big sat dishes, and I would watch Transformers and G.I. Joe on WGN unless it was baseball season, and they canceled them for the Cubs. Ugh, terrible. Poor General Grudge. Stupid Chicago-based television. I watched G.I. Joe. I caught the tail end of some G.I. Joe shows when I was a kid. My Transformers was Beast Wars, though. That's the one I watched when I was young. And Eric Hawkins used to be happy to see the ads for the new Saturday morning cartoons and picking out which ones I would be able to watch. I just was at the mercy of whatever was on television. We didn't get the newspaper. We didn't get TV Guide. Didn't know what was happening. If a show came on television, we watched it. The worst is when you slept in and you missed your favorite show. You missed Batman the Animated Series or something. You're like, you gotta be kidding me. Mom, you didn't wake me up? I remember one time, my mother and brother, my mom liked Batman shows, especially Batman Beyond she liked. And my brother and her, they watched Batman Beyond and they let me sleep and didn't wake me up. I got up. They were like, oh, Batman Beyond was really good this morning. And I was like, why didn't you wake me up? Oh, we thought you'd want to sleep. I was so mad. And now, of course, I have that at my fingertips. It's right over here on the shelf. Batman Beyond, all the seasons. Yeah, well, I was born in the late 80s, Grudge. What can I do? I can't go. It wasn't like today where you could just, I'm going to watch Transformers. It had to be on the television. I liked Beast Wars. Oh, Rick Piper switched channels watching stuff. Yeah, you had to kind of, okay, I know this good show is on this channel at this time, and this show's over on this one. The problem is when they actually, two shows you wanted to watch were on two different channels at the same time. What do you do? Oh, let's see. Lady Vixen claims she didn't steal cable. It was back in the apartment. Apparently, cable was hooked up, supposedly, and Cox came by and said, you need to pay for it or disconnect it. I said, I didn't know. Wasn't using it. Right. No, the saddest thing is someone's Transformers being anything after Beast machines. Is it really? Maybe you guys are just being too judgmental about what people like pop culture-wise. I've never even seen Go Bounce. I'm not even sure I knew it was a show. I knew they were toys. I'm not sure I knew it was an actual show. I don't know everything. My brain can only fit so much pop culture stuff. That's not true, by the way. That's the only thing my brain remembers most of the time. I go, what's that word? The word that you say when you want to greet somebody? It starts with an H. I can't remember what it is. Halo? Hallow? I can't recall. You only like the kids' shows from when you were a kid. Just makes sense. Well, I suppose so. But there's a lot of shows from after I was a kid that I watched that I enjoyed. But there is some truth to that. Like, if I hadn't watched... If those shows, like the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, were not syndicated or not shown on television when I was a kid, would I like them as much as I do? Would I still enjoy them? I don't know. So I think sometimes the 80s cartoons, especially the second and third tier ones, are a little tough to get into. Like, I love the real Ghostbusters, and for me that was ending, right? I wouldn't have watched it anyways. I'm not sure my parents would have let me. I'd be so scared. So I was just a little guy. But that was ending right when I was of age to start watching it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles obviously was still on when I was a kid, and I watched that sometimes. So those shows I like. There's some ones I've checked out from the 80s. I'm just like, oh, yikes. But if I go back a little bit further, the cartoons before that, I find something to enjoy about them. But then again, like Super Friends, maybe not. GoBots were Transformers wannabes from the 80s. Or were they Ken Watanabes? I mostly watch G.I. Joe, still do watch it actually. Really just saying. I saw Thundercats, the complete series, at Best Buy the other day. I had to replace this microphone. So this is actually a new microphone. And I needed a mic. I plan on getting a studio mic later. Yeah, it's true, Dillard. They are. But what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Hey, do you like it? I took your advice, Dillard. I put a gradient behind me, and it looks fantastic. Whoops. Whoopsie. Poor Eric Hawkins. This might be the saddest comment I've ever seen on here. I like Thundercats. The baby likes Thundercats. There was actually a video, it might still be on here on the channel, of the baby dancing to the Thundercats intro song. He was more posing like he was a Thundercat. But Eric Hawkins says, probably the saddest thing I've ever read. I couldn't watch TNG when it first came out because we didn't have UPN. A local channel played them at 2 a.m. and I didn't have a VCR yet. You should have stayed up, dude. Hi, buddy. Here's his new favorite thing. You want to show everybody your new favorite thing? There. Whoa. He's been watching a lot of Winnie the Pooh Bear. And we've had these toys. Did we get them when we were pregnant with him? Yeah, he wasn't even born yet. And we bought these. And he just likes carrying this around and looking at it. But he'll lose these toys when we get them out. But he doesn't. I don't know that he knows that he can play with them. I think he thinks you're just supposed to look at them. Like at first he tried to open it. Now he's just content carrying it around. Why are you headbutting me? Ah! You can't see. It's just right below the level there. All right, buddy. Ugh. But yeah, the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, that was one I liked as a kid. The biggest ones for me were the Disney afternoon cartoons. Tailspin, Chip and Dale, Darkwing Duck. Man, those were my jam. The Next Generation, Star Trek The Next Generation, Gary, you know, come on. General Grudge says, the first time I watched TMNT was on a video cassette given away at Burger King. I was too old to enjoy that kind of stuff by then. Oh, man. That's kind of cool. They used to do things like that. Nowadays, I mean, I don't even... They do toys at Burger King? I haven't been to a Burger King in years. That's kind of cool, though. The first time I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was on television. And it had Casey Jones, and I thought he was so awesome. I was like, oh, Casey Jones. And I remember going outside and pretending I was Casey Jones. Thundercats is okay. It's for kids. But He-Man is for sissy babies. Is that true, Dillard? Yes. Star Trek The Next Generation is the best thing ever. It's my favorite television show of all time. All time. If I'm on Netflix or I'm looking, I want to watch something and I can't decide what to watch, The Next Generation. Easy. Well, you must be a sissy baby then, Rick. Yeah, man. There's a lot of good old stuff. And false General Grudge. Star Trek is not for commies. And people mistakenly think that it represents some sort of communist utopia, but it doesn't. Private property still exists. What it is a post-scarcity liberal utopia. In the classical liberal sense of individual responsibility and liberty. They are post-scarcity because of things like replication. There is no need for people to have to work to eat. So they work because they choose to. They choose to own a vineyard and to make their wine that's not through replication. They choose to own a restaurant like Cisco's father. They choose to be part of Starfleet. The communists, however, are represented by the Borg. Oh, man. But yeah. I watch today's television shows for children. Good night, Gary. Thanks for joining us. Occasionally. I mean, that is true, General Grudge. You did say that, so I apologize. And even if they're halfway enjoyable, eventually there's going to be something stupid in it. Something really stupid that just takes you out of this world. Oh, yes, we have this medieval fantasy world. And there's 2 lesbian queens. What? They've got a daughter. I'm very confused by this. What medieval era monarchy would allow this to happen? That's not how history works. That's not how society has worked. You've just taken me out of your show for the sake of identity politics. That's when the woke stuff bothers me the most. So you just took me out of it. Why am I watching a show about dogs and suddenly you're like, oh, someone's writing an article about why this show about dogs needs dogs of color. It's like, so you want these dogs to be stereotypical, stereotypes of ethnicities? Is that what you're saying? Oh, man. Anyways, I digress. We're talking about good things. Good stuff. Like Animaniacs. The old one, obviously. Obviously. Has anybody watched the new Animaniacs on Hulu? I have not. I've just avoided it because I don't want my memory of Animaniacs to be sullied. So many things have been ruined. Well, no, because it was written by a person of color, Lady Vixen. So, because they are not in a position of power, they can't be a racist. They're not an oppressive class. They're not an oppressor class. They're an oppressed class. And so in the power dynamics, they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to advocate for that. And when you leave the oppressed class and identify with the oppressor class, then you cease to be part of that oppressed class. And therefore, that's why they say, oh, you're not black. Or whatever the identity politics group is. Yes. All right. I think it's time to wrap up. Gary has the right idea. Going to bed. If you guys are excited for more content on this channel, make sure you drop a like on this video. And you hit the bell for notifications. No, hit the bell. If you want to join us for a watch along soon, Gary Shipman and I watching Buckaroo Banzai and doing a live commentary about it. Stay tuned to the channel. I'll let you know when it's going to happen. I won't let it go by without giving some sort of heads up. Hey, we're doing a live stream, this day, this time. And then we'll do that. We will do that show for you guys, and hopefully you will enjoy it. That's true, Dillard. So maybe Dillard will start live streaming and everybody can hop over on his channel. What else? What else was I going to say? I don't know. I'm not sure. I do have some ideas. I plan on talking about Invincible. I know that's like weeks old by this point, like a month old. Everybody's watched it. But I just watched it like last week. I think I finished it up week before. And I have some stuff to say about it. I think will be interesting. But I kind of want to finish Jupiter's Legacy before I do my Invincible thing, because I might merge some sort of review type video together. Merge them together to make one whole video. We'll see. Depends on how Jupiter's Legacy shapes up. I don't actually know. I don't know. I never read the comics, so I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe you all know. Oh, I read Invincible years ago. I read Jupiter's Legacy 10 years ago. Okay, I don't care. Invincible, yeah. Yeah. It does. I'll just leave it for the review. I'll leave my opinion for the review. It does get dark. I'll say that much. And I have things to say about it. Not necessarily all bad and not necessarily all good. I guess you'll just have to stay tuned to find out what I have to say about it. Other things that are in the works this week, I'm making it a point. There will be a video about some old John Wayne movies that I love, where we compare a scene from one movie to a scene in another movie from the same director. Obviously, both scenes involve John Wayne. That's coming out this week. I will be doing that probably tomorrow, recording that. And it will be up later this week. And then, of course, tomorrow there's a new video coming out. What, Jupiter's Legacy? I don't know. Is Cyberpunk on Xbox One? What do I have to wager? What do I have to wager in this? That don't exist. That ain't a real thing. All right. Watch this. I sure hope the link to this is in the description when I play that commercial. Hello, Nathaniel. We are actually wrapping up the stream. I guess we could go like 10 more minutes. Make it an even hour. Get those watch hours in. What? How dare you, Eric? How dare you? I have some idea for some nice short films like we've made in the past. Pokemon Goes Demonic. If you've ever seen that. One of my favorite things I've ever done. Lady Vixen and I made it together. But I have some other ideas. I'm also working on a new commercial to play during live streams and, of course, the FlyFox News show. Need to finish that this week. Get that switched in so people don't get tired of seeing the Titan commercial. Don't want them to be like, I've seen this a million times. I want to refresh, give everybody a fresh option of something to go and and to back. And then once, maybe I'll do a commercial for Zombieful World of Oz when it is on Indiegogo in demand. We'll see. I like to make the commercials for things that I can also point people, like I can help Gary sell Titan books, but I can also point people towards an Amazon link so then I get money if they click it. Yeah, I love it too. Doug Naples told me to make a new one. He's like, make a new intro. And I was like, nah. Nah, bro. If I make a new one, it's going to be even more zany or crazy. Hola, Jimmy of Games Mario and Comics R Us. If you guys don't subscribe to Jimmy, he does so many live streams, I can't even keep up with them as I'm working. But I miss the days that he would talk on a microphone to the chat. Maybe someday it will return. But at least he will take the time to type to you in chat, which is nice. But Jimmy is dedicated to playing them games, man. I would get too bored and want to do something else. Yeah, it is kind of Doug Naples, just kind of crazy. But I think it's because I used it for the news thing, and he was like, oh, yeah, you gotta do something different. It was very FlyFoxPro as well, because this channel's just off the wall and crazy. Oh, I missed the mic stream. Oh, that makes me so sad. Is it already up? Okay, Eric. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. But yeah, it is very Doug Naples. Which is funny because, if we're being honest, I never had a Sega Genesis or a Super Nintendo as a kid. So I knew of Earthworm Jim, but it's not like I never played the game. I didn't watch the TV show. It was something I discovered later on. So my comedy sensibilities are not necessarily that influenced by Doug. I enjoy his work now from an artistic standpoint and how he accomplishes what he accomplishes in a storytelling thing. But his comedy is developed independent of each other. If you want to call it comedy, what I do. I'm not so sure it lives up to that descriptor. Oh, Eric Hawkins says it's been up. I just haven't promoted it yet until the Kickstarter closes in 9 hours. If you guys have not backed Zombieful World of Oz, you should. You should. I like the comic. I don't usually promote things that I don't like. If I do a review of your book, it's because you asked me to do it, or I liked it enough to do the review. There was only one time I think I did a review where I was like, I don't really have much to say about this, good or bad. I'm just going to do the review. And I felt kind of dirty. I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I knew of Doug's properties that he worked on. I knew of him. And then once Bigfoot Bill happened, and I was like, okay, I'll check this out. Thanks to my friend Eric Johnson of Crossplay Gaming, who got Bigfoot Bill, and I was like, oh man, that looks awesome. So Doug and I might have a similar sense of humor, but different ways of expressing it. I've always been kind of zany and goofy. I don't know. Must be the other thing, Earthworm Jim had a very 90s aesthetic to it. That whatever that culture that that generation that Doug's a part of that made stuff in the 90s definitely influenced me, right? So that similar kind of property is probably what did it. So Eric Hawkins knew of Doug's stuff, but didn't know who he was. Wow. Poor Doug. Like, I have the Earthworm Jim TV show now, and it's funny, and I've watched it. I watched it a few times as a kid, but I didn't really watch it all that much. I think it was possibly on when another show that I liked was on, so I didn't watch it. That's probably what happened. Who knows what that was? Oh, that's interesting, General. So was it Armacrog? I want to do. I'll probably be doing a some live streaming of me playing Armacrog on Coin A Geek at some point. So Coin A Geek's gonna get set up here in the next few weeks, probably, where we've got a set schedule where I'm gonna produce probably just one video a week for Coin A Geek. It'll probably be something about some game I've played or some topic I want to talk about, some historical video game thing I'm interested in. And then I'll be doing a live stream at least one a week on Coin A Geek of me playing a game. So if you're interested in that, make sure you guys subscribe to Coin A Geek so you can know when I play those things. Yeah, those sketchbooks are pretty neat, man, from what I've seen of the Doug Maple sketchbooks. So I loved looking at the sketches and see how do people make their art. What is it that they did that I can kind of crib and steal for my own art? What else? What other things do I have in the works? I don't know. As always, there's Upon the Chaos, which I don't expect everyone from FlyFoxPro to enjoy Upon the Chaos, and I don't expect everyone from Upon the Chaos to enjoy FlyFoxPro. They're very different. There may be crossover with things, but they are very different. And I think that's a good thing, because I am multifaceted. I am not just obsessed with politics and news and current events. I also like goofing off with you guys, talking about all these crazy topics that we get up to over here. Yes, I am drawing. I need to be. The last few weeks have been tough to get anything done except for stuff for Upon the Chaos, because I sort of have to build that channel and get it monetized, which we're nearly there. I've got enough subs 3 times over now, but the watch hours is sorely lacking. So if you guys like that stuff, obviously go watch those videos, because that helps me out to try to get monetized. But yes, so I've been focusing on that. So I haven't been able to draw, but I was just thinking I'm almost finished with Steven Starlight, at least the first issue, and then I can put that up on print on demand. We're not going to do a crowdfunder. We're not going to do any of that stuff. We're going to put it up on print on demand. You guys can go on there, purchase it, get it in the mail, easy peasy. Don't have to mess with any of the issues that come along with crowdfunding. Maybe someday, if there are more issues of Steven Starlight, which this one will have an ending that I hope will be satisfactory to a single issue of a comic, like I would want to read myself. And oh yeah, that's smart, General. Maybe I'll set up a camera, live streaming something. I don't know. And so I'll finish that, drawing that, and then I've been talking to a couple of people who we all know, who most of us know, that are in this chat probably, who I've worked, one of which I've worked with before. So that narrows it down to one person. And they've talked to me about possibly working on something, on 2 things actually. And then another person, and I might collaborate on something. So once I'm done with the Steven Starlight, I may be working on some projects where other people are writing a script, and these 2 writers, they work where they do a lot of thumbnail sketches. So that helps me to work quick. So we'll have, that's funny, Journal. Maybe I will. There are playlists, so you could go hit a playlist and watch all the news shows are up there, even the ones that were on FlyFoxPro. So if you go to that playlist, you can see all of those news shows that we did. It won't just be the intro, but yeah. So then I'll be working on those, and that'll help me to draw faster. And I'll do those all digitally. So I'll be drawing all of those digital. And Eric, send me that layout thing you sent me that one time, the page layout. I can't find it on this computer. I don't know what I did with it. And when I switched computers, I put a lot of stuff onto this new one. I didn't put that. So you probably know where it is easier than me. So if you could send that to me, that'd be great. And then we'll have more books from me, or at least artwork wise. And then I also need to wrap up Peter the Problematic Person on Webtoons, as that has been far too long without an ending. So there's a lot of stuff that I will be doing in the future as far as drawing. Once we get a routine here with my work day as it relates to doing videos and doing all this stuff. I figured, Eric, you knew it better than me. I've got stuff is way more organized on this new computer. I purposefully did that so I know where everything is. So I'll put that in a specifically comic book folder. Here's the comic book stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I won't lose it again. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that we just start getting lots of views and it just organically happens. But I may do that. We'll see. I know that a lot of those people have shown footage of the audit, like the live stream of the audit overnight, and maybe I will. I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna see if I don't know. There's nothing official, but tomorrow Doug Tenaple may be upon the chaos live stream with me. So if you guys are interested in that, be on the lookout for that. Probably sometime in the afternoon. Nothing guaranteed, but preliminarily, it is quite possible. What else? To comment about Nathaniel, I would love to fly a drone. I've never flown one. My brother has one, and that photography from that looks awesome. And it's super cool for me for like videography and stuff. I'd love to have access to one of those. But we're working on this stuff right now, so I can't get distracted with yet another hobby, as that would be detrimental to my sanity. Not enough hours in the day to do all the things I want to do. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of like this balance, because if you get really popular all of a sudden, but your videos aren't necessarily super long, like the Upon the Chaos ones are short, so people watch all of them, but then it's only like 10 watch hours. So it's like, okay, 4,000 hours divided by how many videos if they're only 10 watch hours with all these views? So obviously you have to just keep working for a little while, and it'll happen. I'm not worried. But yes, let's see what else. I think that's it. Again, guys, like this stream, ring the bell for notifications if you so desire to know when I go live on this channel, which there'll be far more live streams here on FlyFoxPro than there will be on Upon the Chaos. Upon the Chaos, they're more organized, they're more structured. That's the whole point of that channel. This one is the Chaos. Unironically, that one is Upon the Chaos, and this is the Chaos. Yeah, I will, General. I'll ask him about that. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. Any more questions before I go? Probably not. No one ever has any questions for me. Oh, you explained it all very well. Oh, great. And then if we get back to a settled point, maybe we bring back some of the old standards here on this show, like on this channel, like the Ethics and Morality Hour or the Sunday stream. But thanks everybody for being here. I greatly appreciate it when you guys are here for this long and you stick around, and we have, we had for a big chunk of the show, 10 viewers. So that is good. Hopefully we'll continue to grow here as we get these new subs in here, watching the new content. Anyways, adios everybody. I love you all. To everybody, a good night. I'm mixing all kinds of quotes here.